Colts at Browns this weekend, both teams sitting at 3-1 entering week 5. Coach, I want to first ask you about T.Y. Hilton. He's rarely a guy who stands around on the practice field, even when he's on the sidelines for a specific period of work. The past few weeks, when we've been able to get out and watch practice, it seems like that T.Y. has used every single opportunity to put in additional work. He's always grabbing guys to throw with him. It's usually Kevin Patullo or Mike Groh. How have you seen T.Y. put some added emphasis over these past few weeks on any opportunity to get in additional reps?
Yeah, I mean, he's been working extremely hard. Really, Larry, that goes back to the off season when we were doing our OTA stuff, our virtual OTA, just kind of tracking what he was doing as far as his workouts. And I just think he came into this year in the best shape of his life. And I think that's carrying over into the season, wanting to get going. And we just haven't had a real big passing day yet. I mean, that first game, obviously, we threw for 350. So I just think he's trying to get ready for when he's going to have 10 for 150, right? And we know those days are coming because he's T.Y. Hilton.
Absolutely. Well, Myles Garrett is the type of guy who seems like he probably keeps quarterbacks up at night. Without Anthony Costanzo, you bring in Raven Clark at left tackle, but you noted that Cleveland really moves Garrett around quite a bit on the line. How do you adjust your personnel offensively to protect and anticipate what he's able to do? Do you have some additional personnel adjustments do you make in there as well?
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what they do. As you said, Larry, we talked earlier about that they do move them around. They typically play them on to our right, but I would guess that with the new left tackle, they'll switch it up a little bit more. So we're like most teams, we have the ability to move the back to one side or other to help chip, or move the tight end to one side or the other to help the chip. So we won't do, when you face a player like Myles Garrett, you don't just do one thing. You have to do multiple things. Just in order to stay flexible on offense, but also to show him different looks as well.
When I talked to Rock Yassin earlier this week about the Browns offense, he emphasized their great running backs, a great offensive line, and first and foremost, having to stop the run. And I said to Rock, I said, well, that seems a lot like your own offense when you talk about that elite offensive line and that great depth of running backs. And I asked him, how do those potential shared characteristics benefit your defense, and that they've so frequently gone up against an offense that really does many of those same things?
Yeah, well, there's no doubt. I think it does help them. Same emphasis, many of the same runs. We run, not all completely, but they've seen a lot of them already. The commitment to the run. Cleveland has a real strong commitment to the run, and they've done a great job. I mean, they really have. They've building their team a little bit like our team is built, from the inside out. They've kind of retooled that offensive line. Kareem Hunt is an outstanding running back, but even when he goes off the field, I mean, they have depth at that position. So it's going to be a great challenge for our defense. I'm really, that's obviously going to be one of the keys to this game. You got a team, averaging 300 yards rushing a game against the best defense in the league. Stopping the run, or one of the best defenses in the league stopping the run. So that's going to be a big tell to how this game plays out.
You mentioned stopping the run. The Browns averaging more than 30 points per game with their rushing attack, but then also those playmakers that they have in the passing game with Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry. How much does your defense have to continue limiting the big plays as they have through the first 4 weeks of the season that has them as the top-ranked defense? Just one of the factors that contributes to having the Colts as the top-ranked defense in the NFL.
Yeah, no doubt. If your parent, we always talk about the double positive, the turnovers, but the second part of the double positive is big plays. How do you limit big plays? The Browns are number one in the NFL offensively as far as running game big plays, but they also have their share in the pass game with Odell Beckham. So that'll be a challenge. We got to know where he's lined up. We know he's a big play threat. We'll have some things. We'll have some things to account for him. But at the same time, you can't, Flus and the defensive staff will do a good job accounting for him. But at the same time, you got to commit to that run game too. So you got to do a little bit of both.
Coach, appreciate the time. Good luck on Sunday afternoon. We will see you back in Indy.
Thanks, Lara.